are just doing really terrific work.
Thank you, Kelly. I really enjoyed talking with you.
CleanTheHouse.org was started by 3 generations of a family saddened and angered by the daily onslaught of Trump administration outrages and the complicity of Republicans in Congress. Together, the family formed a plan to turn the House blue. Researching the districts considered toss-ups or leaning Democratic, they identified 36 districts that together can take back the House. Through Act Blue, they made it easy to donate to all 36 districts in one swoop. For as little as $36, you can give $1 to each of these districts. Visit cleanthehouse.org and follow at cleanthehouse18 on Facebook and Twitter. Help support these 36 districts and tell everyone you know to do the same. Let's clean the house this November. Visit cleanthehouse.org because you give $1. I'm here in this segment with Maureen Shaw, who is running for council in the borough of Allendale, New Jersey. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. So I have lots of questions for you, but let's start with a little introduction. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, and why you've decided to run for borough council?
Absolutely. So I am a mom to 2 small children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, and I am a writer by profession. I do both opinion journalism pieces for national outlets and also communications consulting and freelance writing for all sorts of organizations, including government agencies, marketing agencies, and everything in between. Have also been a very vocal activist for women's rights for a number of years. You know, when Trump was elected president, I made a promise to myself and my family that I would do whatever I could to kind of combat the poison that he's pumping into the country. And for me personally, that included stepping up to run for a local government position. To me, it's kind of an extension of my activism. You know, as much as I believe in protesting the institutions responsible for perpetrating, for example, discrimination in our country, it's also my civic duty to try and reform the system from within. So that, in a nutshell, is why I am running for office and a little bit of my background.
Great. And to get a little bit of context, can you talk a little bit about Allendale? In Illinois, we don't have boroughs, so maybe sort of describe what a borough is and where Allendale is, how big it is, that sort of thing.
Perfect. So Allendale is roughly 20 miles outside of Manhattan. So we are in the New York City metro region. And it's a small municipality. I think we have about 6,000 residents. And in New Jersey, borough is basically a small city or a township. So it's a very small slice of government here. And the town is an affluent town that the plurality of voters are independents or unaffiliated. But if you look at, the way the town votes, the majority of votes lean red. And it wasn't until a year and a half ago that a Democratic contingent started forming in Allendale. First, there was the formation of the Democratic Club of Allendale. And then for the first time in over 25 years, we had a fully functioning Democratic county committee in Allendale. So after the presidential election, people started to really get involved, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, and so this is something that seems a bit of an oddity, that in a lot of places the city council mayor kind of races are nonpartisan, but it appears that in Allendale this is actually a partisan position.
In Allendale, it's been Republican rule for over 45 years here. And personally, I don't see a real purpose in partisanship in hyperlocal politics. At the end of the day, we all love Allendale and we want to do what's best for the town. It's just a matter of having different ideas and opinions on how to get to that point. So we're not dealing with partisan issues like we're seeing on the national level or even at state levels. So in some regards, it definitely is partisan because it's been Republicans handpicking successors for 45 years. But issues-wise, I don't see real partisanship.
And so the kind of government that Allendale has is a mayor and 6 council members.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year, the mayor's term is up, and 2 of the council members are up. And so you and 2 other people are sort of running as a team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. This is, like I mentioned, the first full Democratic slate in decades. The 2 council people who are running for re-election, and they have served for quite some time. And the mayor has decided not to run for re-election. So one of the existing council members, who is currently the president of the Borough Council, is running for mayor. On our side, it's myself for council and my running mate, Brian Murphy. He is a history professor and dean of the Honors College at Rutgers University in Newark. And for mayor, we have Carolina Curbelo, who, interestingly enough, is a former Republican who switched parties, and she's an immigration attorney who has actually lived in Allendale her whole life. So we bring to the table a lot of professional and academic success and ideas, and we all 3 of us have very young children in the school system here. So we're here for the long haul, and we really are emotionally invested in this town, financially invested in this town. And we're really excited to try and take things to the next level.
And so what kind of positions are these? Is the mayor a full-time position, a part-time position? How often does the council meet? What does that look like on the ground?
Sure. So none of these positions are paid. They all are, part-time positions because people have jobs and families and whatnot. But it's a big time commitment. So the mayor and council meet publicly twice a month. And in between those public meetings, they also serve on committees. So Public Works Committee, Public Safety Committee, Finance and Administrative Committee. So there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it as well, aside from the twice monthly public meetings.
So I wanted to ask you, you once wrote a piece called 6 Ways Parenting a 3-Year-Old is Like Running for President. So I was wondering in what ways parenting a 3-year-old is like running for town council or not.
Well, both require a lot of patience and sometimes having to deal with difficult personalities. And at the end, even when you're dealing with difficult situations or uncomfortable situations, at the end of the day, it's worth it because you're growing personally. You're learning more about yourself. You're learning to be a more patient person, willing to listen. And, the benefits actually, I have to say as a mom, the benefits of running for office really are creeping into the household. I mean, it's very personally satisfying for me to watch my 6-year-old daughter. She plays running for council, where she lines up her stuffed animals and she'll talk to them like they're her constituents, and she'll make paper ballots. And I mean, she's really getting into it. And I think that is really cool to see.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a glib question, but you wrote a thread on Twitter just yesterday, I think, about sort of the running for office and what that's looked like. Can you expand a little bit on, what sorts of things have you learned about yourself? What sorts of ways have you been put in uncomfortable positions running for office?
Sure. So this town is a very close-knit town, and some people, I should say, are not very happy that there are now challengers to the current mayor and council because they have friendships with these people. They've grown up with them. They've been neighbors of theirs for a long time. And so there seems to be a discord between some residents having personal relationships with the current mayor and council members and trying to be okay with having challengers. And that has brought some discord. And it's been challenging to hear people come at us saying, well, you're new to town. You have no business running for office. You've only been here for 4 years. That may be true, but I am here for the long haul. You know, my family moved here with intent. This is the first home we've ever purchased. And we did it because we want to be here for the long haul. The school system is incredible. I have 2 small children who are going to go through the school system for the next 12 to 15 years. So learning to be patient and take constructive criticism and learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable has pushed my personal growth boundaries in a good way. And as I was mentioning earlier, running for office coming into the home, that is a benefit that I also extend to being a mom because I'm learning to be patient, which is definitely required when you have a 3 and a 6-year-old.
Yes.
But I mean, it's nothing major. Again, it's not like, what you're seeing at the federal level. It's people being upset that their friends are being challenged politically. It's just really small town personal relationships that are butting heads with a new set of candidates.
And so what about the other direction? Are you also seeing people who are excited that somebody is finally challenging the status quo and bringing new ideas in?
So excited. There's so much energy that it really helps balance out when you have some not so great days. My running mates and I are out canvassing 4 to 5 times a week, and we are knocking on every door, Democrat, unaffiliated, Republican, and it's fantastic. I mean, we joke in town about how the Democratic Club, which formed a year and a half ago, has kind of served as a coming out party for Democrats in the area. When the club started, there were 4, members. Now we're up to, around 120. And these people are so enthusiastic. They are coming to fundraisers and packing the places. They're offering to go door to door with us. They're really excited at the thought of new ideas, new energy, and bringing different opinions and viewpoints to our local government. And that's not just Democrats. As we're going door to door and talking to people, there's several Republicans who have likewise been enthusiastic about our ideas and not looking at it from a party perspective, but an ideas perspective. So overall, it's been very encouraging. 98% of the interactions I have going door to door are overwhelmingly positive. So I'm encouraged, definitely.
What are some of the ideas that you and your running mates have for what you'd like to see happen in Allendale?
Sure. So first and foremost, transparency. Transparency and accountability are absolutely essential in a well-functioning borough government. And residents really should be informed about and included in important decisions for the town's future. And, in an ideal world, everyone would be able to physically attend the mayor and council meetings so that they could be involved and learn more about what's currently happening and what might be happening down the road. But the reality is most people in this town are juggling work commitments, commuting, small children. Some are caregivers, to elderly parents or other family members as well. So one thing we'd really like to do is fight to live stream and record the meetings so that people who can't physically make it can watch when it's convenient for them.